Tina Ruffin, the author of Oh Really? Embracing the Really Moments of Life. So, who is Tina Ruffin and what is the book Oh Really all about? Tina Ruffin is an author. She's a motivational speaker. She's an enthusiastic. She's a trainer. She's a professional developer. She's a coach. She's the mother of 3 beautiful children, James, Jordan, and Deanna. She is someone who is passionate about the growth and the development of women who have been overlooked and undervalued, women who fail to recognize or even see their own self-worth. She's passionate about ensuring that these women discover who they are and recognize that they were created for a purpose, on purpose, with a purpose. And so Oh Really does just that. Oh Really is a story of metamorphosis. It is a story of hope and self-discovery as well as self-actualization. And this story was actually birthed by a series of life events that I personally went through. And it was a time of a lot of self-reflection. It was a time of isolation. It was a time of feeling lonely and rejected. And out of that, Oh Really was birthed. So I have to think that it was a transformative time. It was a time of transformation. In the book, I discuss how we go through these various life events, and sometimes we actually feel like we will never recover from those events. It's kind of one of those things where life knocks you down and it literally knocks the breath out of you or the life out of you per se, and you feel as if you're just not going to be able to move on from that point. Oh Really teaches you that, you know what, life events will happen, but they become defining moments for us. They become moments that we look back and we say, guess what? I became who I am now because of that one moment or because of that series of moments. Oh Really takes you through what I like to call a personal treasure hunt. Whenever you think about someone who goes treasure hunting, they have to be equipped for that particular thing that they're doing, and that means that they have to have the proper gear, they have to have the proper attire, the weather has to be just perfect, all the right conditions. And Oh Really takes you through how is it that I can go on a treasure hunt to discover the me that has yet to be lived, or the me that is still waiting to be birthed or to be lived. And so I like to spend just a few moments, not necessarily reading from the book, but just kind of telling you about some things that you will find in the book. One of the things that I share in this book is how we are just like the caterpillar who ultimately transforms from a caterpillar into a butterfly. And so when you think about what is it that the caterpillar himself goes through, it's an actual metamorphosis. And so when we go through these life events, these defining moments, these really moments, because sometimes these moments just leave you saying, oh really? They actually take us through a metamorphosis. And so let's just take, for example, the caterpillar himself. When you look at what the caterpillar goes through, he goes from a caterpillar to a butterfly, but before he gets to the butterfly, there is a middle stage, and that middle stage is the actual cocoon. And so our cocoon is the life moments or the defining moments or the life events that we actually go through and we overcome. That's part of the cocoon. And so when we're inside of this cocoon, 3 things actually happen. And it actually happens to the caterpillar when the caterpillar goes through the cocoon process as well. So the first thing that happens in the cocoon is that the caterpillar goes through what's known as a breakdown. His body is being broken down to the least form so that he can actually take on his new form. And so when we go through our life events, when we go through these defining moments inside of our life cocoon, the first thing that happens to us is a breakdown. We feel rejected. We feel isolated. We feel lonely. We feel as if, you know what, I'm never going to be able to come out of this. I'm never going to be able to get past this. And so things begin to become broken down for you, so to speak. Your relationships suffer. Who you thought you were begins to suffer because there's a breakdown. Your mindset begins to change. And it's all a part of the process of your cocoon. And so the breakdown is necessary. So if you're feeling as if I'm going through something right now, something that I never thought I would be able to endure or get past it, I want to tell you today that you're in the breakdown piece. If you feel as if your relationships are not transitioning on the path that you would like them to transition on, you're in the breakdown piece. If you feel like friends are just not understanding you anymore, or maybe your friendships are starting to drift apart because you're growing and they're pretty much staying the same, you're in the breakdown piece. And so from the breakdown, the caterpillar transitions to his new form, his new body, his new mind, and that's the buildup. And so what happens is that after his body has been literally broken down into the least form, now the buildup begins. He takes on a new body. He takes on new sight. He takes on new strength. He takes on a new form. He has a new way of looking at things, even while he's still inside of the cocoon. And so if now your vision is shifting and you're beginning to see things from a different perspective, guess what? You're in the build-up process. And so friends don't look the same way they used to look. Things don't sound the same way they used to sound. As a matter of fact, things don't even bother you the way that they used to bother you, because you're in the build-up phase of your cocoon process. And so new friendships are being birthed, new relationships are being birthed, new jobs are being birthed, new ideals are being birthed, new visions are being birthed. You're taking on a new form of strength that you never had before. You're taking on a new form of peace that you never had before. You're taking on a new form of joy that you never had before, because you're being built up. And the reason you're being built up is because you're about to fly. And the third piece that the caterpillar goes through in this metamorphosis process is the breakthrough. Because after he relinquishes his old form, his old ways, his old habits, his old relationships, and he's now broken down, the buildup takes place, and he's taking on a new way of looking at things. He's taking on new strength so that he can break through and break forth. And so when the caterpillar actually breaks through the layers of the cocoon that he's been encamped in or encamped around him, he flies with the wings of a butterfly. He has a new form altogether. He no longer looks like the caterpillar who was wimpy, who crawled around everywhere, who stayed on his stomach, crawling from here to there. He has a new form of strength, and he has a new look about himself, because now the birthing has taken place and he has wings to fly. The breakthrough is here. And so I want to encourage you at this moment. When you read this book, it's going to do just that. It's going to show you where you are. It's going to take you through moments of self-awareness. It's going to take you through moments of self-actualization. It's going to cause you to focus on things like, who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my passion? What are some weak areas that I still need to work on and explore? What are some opportunities that exist in my life that maybe I'm not even taking advantage of at this time or this moment in time? And then what are some things that if I don't get myself together, if I don't embrace my really moments, if I don't embrace the defining moments, if I don't go through the cocoon process or the metamorphosis, what's threatening me? So I challenge you to pick up a copy of Oh Really. If you're ready to embrace your defining moments, if you're ready to find out who the next level of you really is, a version of you that you haven't even been introduced to, I challenge you to take a look at Oh Really. If you're ready to embrace your defining moments and become that butterfly that I know you are, pick up Oh Really. Because guess what? The next version of you, the best version of you, is waiting on you. How can you get a copy of Oh Really? I'm so glad you asked. Amazon.com is where you can actually find Oh Really. Also, be sure to check me out at my website, www.tinaruffin.com. Thank you so much for your support. I pray that this book, the words from the pages, will enlighten you, will inspire you, will motivate you, but most of all, will empower you to become the best version of yourself. Hey, in the words of one of my favorite groups, don't stop, get it. Go after your moment. You deserve it. Thank you.